Henry Jolly, is laser focused on getting his 10-year-old twin boys to the NBA. They work out about 40 hours a week.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like a job. There's no greater burden than a parent living vicariously through them and trying to fulfill some unfulfilled dream of the parent. For you, they would go out and make 500 shots at 6 a.m. on their own.
Absolutely.
Hi, Dr. Phil.
We are a basketball family to the core. We revolve everything around that. I love seeing my sons on the court.
Are y'all going to the NBA together?
Yeah. I was swimming and get candy.
You want swimming and get candy?
Yeah.
All right. What about the NBA?
Yeah, I was just swimming and candy too.
Okay, swimming and candy too. Don't go fast. Dribble lower, hand.
Obviously, the ultimate goal is to play in the NBA. This is something that the boys want to do. This is their goal. This is their dream.
What's your favorite car?
My favorite car is a Lamborghini and a Bentley.
Are y'all gonna get a Lamborghini and a Bentley when y'all grow up?
Yeah!
Going hard, going fast, being aggressive.
The intensity of training I just wish that I had parents that took good care of me like we do them.
All right, go left hand. Left hand, there it is. We don't do that calling fouls. That's why y'all tough like y'all.
We decided to homeschool the twins.
We had a lot more time to train and work out. The workouts and the training is not stressful or vigorous.
Make sure you write your pivot now. Make sure you write your pivot.
We really dedicate our lives to our kids.
Our goal is to make it to the NBA.
We here to guide them and lead them in the right direction, just like any good parent would.
All right. Those boys are already pretty good.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
In fact, they're real good, right?
I would say great. For right now, for their age. Yes.
Yeah, for their age?
Yes.
They work hard?
Yes.
They're homeschooled, right?
Correct.
Okay, and they get up at 6 a.m. and practice for 2 hours?
Roughly about 2 hours, yep.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less because the 6 a.m. workout, it consists of them making 500 shots in the morning. So we have a shooting machine that helps us get the rebound and pass the ball back, so it's really efficient.
Okay.
So if they're on, then, they'll finish a little early.
What kind of percentage are they shooting?
I would say about 70%.
Yeah.
And this is with no defense, so, 70% with no defenders at 10 years old is pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's a different variation of shots. It's not just stand in one spot, catch and shoot.
Yeah.
We do different things.
Yeah, and so they do cardio, stretching, shooting, ball handling, strength, all sorts of things.
Yes.
Yeah. And so they'll work out for shooting drills for a couple hours, then they have breakfast, and then they do schoolwork.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they have lunch, and then they're back on the court.
Yes.
So they work out about 40 hours a week?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like a job.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
more than a lot of people work.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. But,
Yeah.
less than 1% make it to the NBA.
Yeah.
And so my thing is, we think different than less than 1% of the population. So we like our chances.
We do or you do?
My family does.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is this your dream or their dream?
This is their dream. I introduced the sport to them at a very young age, obviously. They didn't know what basketball was, when they're born. But, we found some different things that were fun for them, and basketball was one of them. And then I noticed they just kept wanting to play, kept wanting to practice, kept wanting to pursue this activity. And so around age 5, I noticed that they really took a strong liking to it. You could see the talent was there. And then when they started talking to me, Dad, I want to be on TV. I want to play basketball like him. Okay, well, that's what you want to do. Let's get it done. If they said they want to be horseback riders, okay, that's what you want to do? We got to get some horses.
Well, now let's be honest here.
Yeah.
I mean, just dad to dad here.
Yeah.
You push basketball pretty hard.
I wouldn't say push. I say I guided them to where they are today.
Well, you pushed it harder than equestrian. No, I mean, really, you were a basketball player.
Right.
Were you pretty good?
I was very good.
Yeah. So this was in your blood. This was something you knew. And as a father, you teach them what you know, right?
Right,
I'm
exactly.
not criticizing that.
Exactly.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I mean, the degree to which you do, people might have an issue with. I'm not sure I do or I don't. don't have the facts yet. But you push what you know. You know basketball. And so that's something you know, so you pass it on to your boys. I can't add 2 and 2 and get 5 every time. I didn't push my boys to be mathematicians. I kind of tried to meet them where they were and introduce them to a lot of different things to see what they had a passion for.
Okay.
One of my boys was big on hunting, and I'm not big on hunting, but I took him hunting, and I probably took him 50 times. I never pulled the trigger, but he never noticed.
Right.
He didn't care what I was doing. He was out there hunting, and I took him fishing. I did a lot of different things that my dad never did when we were growing up, so I thought I'd expose him to a lot of things, but you kind of focused on basketball.
Correct.
Oh, all right, that's a foul. Hold up. Shoot it on him, Aston. Shoot it. Oh, Aston got 2. High 5. Block it, Aston. Block it. Hit me 1 again, it's over. We are the champions. Let me ask you this. Are y'all going to the NBA together?
Yeah. NBA.
NBA.
Well, that was a look at 10-year-old twins known as the Jolly Boys. Now, their father, Henry, says they were born to go pro, that there is no plan B for their futures. Now, Nate is a former footballer turned athletic trainer who says parents shouldn't pressure their kids at such a young age. Take a look.
The point of athletic development is to be the most complete athlete and the most complete player once you've reached full maturity, and that takes patience. We have truly gotten away from what youth sports should be about. It should be about life experiences that can help these young men and young women grow up to be successful adults. Youth sports has been monetized and it's a big business now. Then there's a faction of adults that have intentions that are not just about building strong children, it's they're trying to build these elite athletes. Sports parents, your youth athletes' athletic development is a marathon, not a sprint. I see so many parents putting unnecessary amounts of pressure on their athlete, on themselves as a parent, and also their household, trying to make their kid the best player. There's professional leagues all over the world, but the amount of people that can actually raise their hand and say, I've been paid by an organization to play a sport is so few and far between. You almost have a better chance of winning the lottery.
Well, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Nate, you say that there's no greater burden on a child than a parent living vicariously through them and trying to fulfill some unfulfilled dream of the parent.
Absolutely. It is a huge burden, and it happens often, not just with athletics, but in a variety of different areas in life. Oftentimes as parents, we have a vision for our children, and we have a vision for what we see as an end game, and we make sure that we put them in position to fulfill whatever is that vision we have for our children, instead of sometimes letting it organically happen by seeing what the passions that they have and fanning that flame.
Yeah. You say that there are like mock drafts for these athletes, like sometimes 5 years before they ever get in a position to be drafted. So they're planning for these kids way in advance.
Absolutely. It's a big business. A lot of these publications will rank players 5 to 6 years in advance. These publications sometimes are paid publications that you can have agents to get you in these publications and to write about your kids. You can secure media for your kids to be able to publicize them, to be able to get as much exposure for them as possible. Their brand will grow from that and their status will grow from that.
Yeah, and so now we have this NIL where you can make money from your name, image, and likeness, and your boys are the youngest
Correct.
to ever have
NIL deals, correct.
NIL, right?
Correct.
And so they have sponsorships and things like that?
Correct.
Is it significant?
It's good, very good.
And what do you do with the money?
It's in their bank accounts.
Yeah.
My wife and I, we have our own lives, we're fine. Nothing to do with me. This is all their money, and it goes in their accounts.
Yeah. You've been watching about the Jolly Boys and that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
I see these kids doing push-ups and shooting 500 shots a day, and And you say you don't have a plan B because you think that's taking your eye off the ball, so to speak?
I wouldn't say think. We just don't have a plan B. I have a philosophy if, you shoot for the stars and you land on the cloud, you're still good.
Yeah, so have you thought about what they might do after the NBA?
No, not me. That's their lives, so I haven't thought about that. That's their job to think about what they want to do.
Well, but as a parent, it's your job to prepare them for life, and the average length of career in the NBA is like 5 years.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years, correct.
4.8, actually, if we're going to be specific. And you're not thinking they're average, but whatever it is, they're going to have more of their life after the NBA than they will have before or during the NBA.
Correct.
So with life expectancy being what it is, they're going to have 50 years after the NBA. Are you thinking about that with them?
No, I'll just let them make a decision, once they get closer to that time. I mean, they've talked about, I want a coach like you, Dad. I want to be a coach, things like that. I want to be a trainer.
Yeah.
So, it could change, though.
Are these players prepared for after?
It's always a case-by-case basis.
No, it's not. I wish it was, but it's not. But you know as well as I do that 80% of the players within 3 years of being out of the league are in financial distress.
Right.
They're either bankrupt or in serious financial distress.
Right.
So it's not case by case.
Right. And you're correct. There are a lot of athletes that end up being in financial distress, no doubt about that, because they're not prepared for life after sports. And I say that often, that you're going to be a former athlete a lot longer than you're going to be an athlete. And you have to have passions outside of it and make sure you're financially literate. And you have to have things that sustain you, because even if you do have a pro career which defies all the odds, you're gonna be a young man or a young woman when you finish. You're gonna be 27, 28, and you have a whole life after.
Do you worry about pushing these boys too hard too soon?
No, because I'm not pushing them, just guiding them. That's simple. It's not a push. It's not a push at all.
So you think if it wasn't for you, they would go out and make 500 shots at 6 a.m. on their own?
Absolutely. Listen. If you was in my house, you would really see the love and passion they have for this. It's not just, they're not shooting 500 shots just because they enjoy shooting 500 shots. They want to be the best. They know what they're up against.
What do you do when they don't want to do it on a given day?
I've never seen a day that they didn't want to do it.
Really?
Yes. It's like this. They're best friends. And one advantage I do have, the fact that I have 2 boys that are the same age. Now, I would say, from the outside looking in, if it was one of them, that doesn't sound too fun. You have one kid that's out there shooting 500 shots. But they're so competitive, and it's a fun thing for them. So anytime they're playing basketball, competing against each other, they'll be shooting shots that I'll make 10 in a row. I bet you can't. So it's always a competitive thing, and it's fun.
So you don't ever have days where they just don't feel like it?
Never. I've never seen it.
Really?
Hand on the Bible. You've never seen it.
Yeah. Oh. I played athletics all my life, and there were some days that, I just didn't want to do it.
Right.
I mean, I did it if a coach made me, but I just didn't want to do it.
But watch this. Not to be funny, but did you want to play in the pros?
Oh, hell no.
Well, see, there you go. There you go.